and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And this is showing the first weekend of July, and none of us are wearing red, white, and blue. But our table's very red, white, and blue.
Yeah, but July 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay, July 2nd, which is Sunday, right?
That's when this should
That's
be coming
theoretically when the aliens landed in Roswell.
out. Oh, that's why you're wearing your July.
So I'm wearing on the back it says we're watching you. It used to be glow in the dark. It's not glow in the dark anymore.
Well, we hope you're having a good almost 4th of July weekend, and hope you have a good, safe holiday coming up.
Yes, everybody be safe.
Yeah. So we're here. I think Eve's starting today?
Yes, I'm starting because I was...
Last week was everything you didn't do. This week is she did way too much.
Well, it was just bags. Okay, so
Yeah.
I have this
That is
citrus bag.
so cute. Let me see
And
that.
up here has a lime charm.
Adorable.
And here's the...
And peaches on the bottom.
Yeah.
peaches on this down here.
Peaches and oranges? Or maybe they're all oranges.
No, they're oranges. They're not
they're
peaches.
oranges. They're not peaches. They're
They're orange
oranges.
slices.
Yeah.
And full oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this little one has an orange
You
slice.
see that? These are so cute. Oh my gosh.
I love that fabric.
very
when I saw
similar.
it.
Fabric is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It wants to be a beach bag.
What's on the inside? The
The
oranges?
the oranges.
Mhm.
The orange
It's the
tree
same-
and leaves.
yeah, it's the same as-
the bottom.
Oh, the
As
handle
usual.
of that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cute.
Oh.
And then I finally
Very
made...
cute.
And the orange zipper. I love it. I love it so much. These are beautiful. How fast are those going to go?
I don't know. I never know. Okay, so then I finally made the other lemon bag,
Aw, cute.
and it has a lemon charm.
I like the black stripes in the fabric, in the
And
bottom
the
fabric.
bottom fabric down
Yeah.
here.
I would have used this fabric as the accent fabric,
Uh-huh.
except I had more of this one than I did of this one. So anyway,
It's cute though.
Is that what's on the inside?
Mhm.
The stripes?
The
yeah,
stripy
the
one.
stripes are in the inside, but the stripes on the inside go
Vertical.
up and down.
Nice.
I didn't want these going up and down because I thought it would look weird.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's the right way.
So,
Yeah.
and then this also has a lemon on it. They both have lemons.
And those are sold as sets.
Yeah.
Yes, all of these are sold as
So our
sets.
Etsy link is in our link tree, which is in the description.
Yeah.
If you want to go grab those.
Yes.
I
Okay.
love that. The grapefruit one.
Oh, I think it's adorable.
It's beautiful. I'm just so charmed by it.
And I have plans, not immediately because I will not be here for a week, but I have plans to make the shorter ones
Okay.
of all four again, the lemon one
Oh,
too.
okay.
Because the lemon one sold like, in less than a day. Kind of like our alien stuff. Okay, so then this is sea turtles because I love sea turtles.
So cute.
Inside is just this blue, and there is a little sea turtle charm here, and a little sea turtle charm here.
It's cute. It's tiny.
Yeah, I didn't want to do, we have some sea turtle charms that are just solid gold, and I didn't think it worked with this. It has like a little stone in it or something, and they're on the big side. And then some that were just silver, not, and I was just like, I want something cuter.
I
So-
just saw a video of these turtles. I guess they were some kind of aquatic turtle, but they were smaller. But one of them was on his back and he was stuck and he was like flipping and flipping and flipping. He couldn't turn over. And the other turtles, there was a whole bunch of other turtles on the thing. And
I saw that,
came
and they
around
come to him and helped
and
him.
flipped him over.
I kind of did that to a bug in the pool today.
You flipped it over? And
I
nicely?
flipped it out of the pool.
Oh.
Because he was drowning. He kept trying to He was going around in circles,
Aw.
and he kept trying to, and
Trying to get out.
yeah, and then after he was on the pool deck, he started heading back toward the pool.
He
I'm
was
like,
thirsty.
"You're a knucklehead." So I flicked him until he went into the ground, because I wasn't trying to hurt it. I was just like,
Silly
"You're going to
bird.
drown." Okay, and then the last bag I made is this darker one, which I absolutely love.
It's really pretty. It's turtles also.
Mhm.
Yeah, sea turtles
Undersea.
also. It's just a little bit more intricate design, and it's got like, see the little fishies,
Oh, that's really beautiful.
and and then vegetation and stuff.
So these are for when you take your stitching to the beach or the pool. They're not waterproof, but they look waterproof because they're so beautiful.
Well, but they're washable.
Yeah.
Now, if you wash them, you would have to iron them again to get them to stiffen up. Right now, they're like kind of stiff, but I have one that I washed, and I washed it because I took it with me to the ER during COVID, and right after coming back, I threw it in the wash.
Yeah.
So it has the same charms because they're still sea turtles. Anyway, I'm very happy that I finally did that. It probably took me longer because I was doing 4. I said, why am I just cutting out one?
Yeah.
I should cut out more than one so then I can. Yeah, I don't know that saved me any time. Okay, so that's what I did on bags. I did not finish Robin by Maria Bravko, which was my June cross-stitch camp piece. Cute Patterns by Maria. She has an Etsy shop. And I just absolutely adore this. I just, once I got done with the hat, well, I'm not quite done yet, but once I got done with the hat, I was starting on the bird, and I was like, I love this pattern.
Yeah.
So that's as far as I got.
This little hat is done kind of.
I want to knit
No,
a little hat like that.
the
A little
hat-
two. I
Two-
want to
two
knit
little
a
balls.
hat.
The hat has white right here,
Uh-huh.
but there's also white here and right here and white there. And I said, I'm just going to wait and fill in all the white at once. So the first one in here was a blended thread, and then it goes to one of the threads from the blend, and that's how she makes the
Yeah.
curves. And it worked really well on the scarf. You can really see the dimension in it. Once I finish the stitching and get to the back stitching, it's going to really pop out of there. Of course, I don't know when that'll be. I'll have to put this on next year's WIP-GO. Okay, so one of my WIP-GO pieces, the first one was
For June.
cross stitching for fun. Yeah, the first one was cross stitching for fun Art Deco Summer, and then the second one also cross stitching for fun Wizard Snowman, and Naomi's going to put a picture here. and I got further on this than what it looks like. Even if I take a picture of it, okay, I will take a picture, but even when I take a picture of this, you will not be able to really see. But there's white. I got all the way down. I got all the way down over here with the white. I just have to do the other arm and down the other side. And then I'm waiting to finish the rest of the Krynic in the scarf because there's back stitching up here in the hat of Krynic, and then there's back stitching around this blue belt. So I have to have all the white put in before I can do that back stitching. So it has to go on top. Anyway, so I got further than it looks like on that. And There's no emergency, so I'm not going to cry, but I thought I would get done, and I didn't. I'm trying to do too much, I think. Okay.
But you got those beautiful bags done.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Someone has their little cold toes. I mean, little cold nose on my toes.
Sorry.
Little dog.
So, for June's cross stitch camp piece, I almost didn't. I told myself not to join cross stitch this month in July because
You mean camp?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, cross stitch camp. I was like, should I do it? Because the WIP-GO called 3 things, which I will show you later, which means I'll be doing a lot of other cross stitch, and that's why I didn't get the robin done, you know, and that's why I didn't get the Mary Ravenclaw done, because I was busy, you know, juggling. Anyway, well, plus I just wasn't doing it. But I decided to go ahead and try. This is less intricate. It is called Seahorses by Chesapeake Bay Treasures, number 5.
Eve, can I ask you a question? With all the themes of all the things you do, why do you live in Arizona? You love the ocean. Everything you do is ocean themed.
I don't like hurricanes.
Oh, okay. Fair. That's fair. I was just like, everything. It's so cute, though. That's really cute. That.
Yeah. So I
Seahorse.
decided, you know, before I had, this is a very small pattern and it only has 2 threads. So I decided to, I had this underwater world. So this, I chose this malachite fabric from DMC because I thought it looked kind of watery for underwater world. And so I thought, well, I'm going to put this one on there too. I don't know that it'll fit over here, so I'm just going to put it down here, and that might end up wasting some cloth in between, but oh well. I could just cut the right size of the underwater world off of the whole thing, and then I would know.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't going, I might do that, but I only have so much time. I'm going to be staying at somebody else's house for a week. I'm not going on vacation. So I'm kind of excited. I got to take all my pictures. I have everything. So I have the fabric and the pattern and the threads.
Let me see it.
I've had that pattern and the threads
Oh, that's so cute.
for like a year.
That's so nice.
They have a whole series of those, and I just picked one because I didn't want to buy a whole bunch.
It looks peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'd be a peaceful stitch.
That's cute.
Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do for cross stitch camp. And then the WIP-GO numbers, I don't remember what the numbers were.
9, 13, and 21.
But 13 is the middle square, and you know, she says you can use that as a
Some
a
people
free
have
square.
it as a free space, yeah.
But I fill it with my own designs.
Hmm.
And I might do an FFO of one I've already finished stitching, which I showed on my video Monday, and I didn't think to get it out right now, and it's too complicated. So I'm gonna finish this, The Greatest Story.
Oh, yeah.
I'm working on the last
Oh, that's
ornament.
so nice.
I probably do not have all of the threads that it calls for in, you know, you pilfer threads,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there's a picture of it that's a panoramic picture, you know, but that's not the one I had printed out. So anyway, I'm going to finish that. That's that. And I'm supposed to do 15 days on my own design. So I have this, and I have the FFO of the flamingo. It's a little pattern. And thank you guys that have purchased the little patterns recently. I really appreciate it. I recognize some of your names. If I get those done and I still have 15 days, I will either design something new, probably not, or pick one of the others that I made that same time that I made this. This was designed in 2020. For December, we were doing an Advent thing, and then we had to stop because my mother passed away. So, but there are 2 other patterns. So I could work on one of those. I really like the very first one that says a time to prepare, and it's
Like an
candles.
Advent candle?
Yeah, it's Advent candles, and it
think
just
I
says a
remember that.
time to prepare. And I really like that because, those first few. Okay, if you're a Christian, you should be thinking about these things all the time. But if you take those first few weeks of December to center yourself and make you realize that it's not about all the gifts and the ornaments and the lights and all that other stuff. And I think that's a way to prepare your mind. So I may just stitch that
Pull
one.
that out, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so that's the 13 WIP-GO. And then, excuse me, the 9, is it 9?
Yeah.
Is, again, cross-stitching for fun. Can you tell I like that design? These are spring bookmarks. And during my video on Monday, I showed the finished one, this one. So if you want to go to my channel, you will see the finished one that I had. And
Well, you could also put a picture here.
okay, yes, I could put a picture
You can put a
here. What else
picture.
did I say that I showed? Oh, the flamingo.
The little
I can
flamingo.
show a picture of that.
Sorry.
So last year I was working on this one, and I didn't even get halfway. I don't remember why not. And when I went to go pull stuff to make sure I had everything, because I will not be here. I'm not very far away. I can come over here, but
That's okay.
Who wants
if
to do that?
if I'm sitting there ready to stitch in the evening and I pull out the pattern to stitch, I want to have all the stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So,
And you can't just hop over. It's like a thing.
well, yeah, and
You can't just leave. So.
yeah, I can't leave. And so I can leave, but I try not to. So there's some of these threads here that are not in the little bag where I have this stuff. Some of them are there, but I says to myself, I have the threads for this one with the bees on top. I don't like bees, but I keep stitching them.
They're very important.
I take that back. I like bees just fine if they are outside away from me. But I don't want to harm bees. And anyway, so I thought I'd start on this one, which is going to be on, it's folded up. I have to iron it first, all right? Which is going to be on this
Wrinkled little piece of...
this wrinkled teal. The bag I have these in is this big, and it's mostly just
Scraps. Or...
no. I cut these the proper size and purposely dyed them to go with each one. But you know, the one that I'm using is the one that I keep out. So that's why this one isn't all bent up, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, it was like, I don't know, the thing calls for like 40 threads, I don't know. And I'm like, which of these threads do I still have? So it doesn't matter as long as I work on it for 10 days. It doesn't matter which one I'm working on because I only have one of these done. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to do this one first or stitch on that one while I'm stitching. I don't know. Too many cross stitch patterns to work on all at once. So I have 10 days to do on that one and 10 days for, I didn't take this one out of the bag. Why didn't I take this one out of the bag? I have this plastic bag it came in, and then I have this inside one of my project bags. So, sorry, I didn't turn the sound off on my phone. This is the other one. Halloween Gnomes
Oh, I love that.
by
I was
Ursula
thinking
Michael
about
for
that pattern.
Imaginating.
I was thinking
And
about that pattern the
I
other day.
just absolutely love it.
It is so cute. And I love the fabric you have it on, too.
Yeah,
It's
I
so-
dyed this. It's 18 count Ada, and if I had looked, well, green is a Halloween color.
I know, it's very green.
If I had looked at the pattern, I read the size, and I just, if I had looked at the pattern, I would not have picked Ada.
Oh.
Because there are probably more half stitches than there are whole stitches. Okay, that's exaggerating, but there are a lot of them. And so it being 18 count, I'm like, get it in the middle.
Yeah.
Sorry, that
Okay,
was me.
I'm
Sorry.
I'm going to turn this down. We have a very busy day. Okay, so
Would you like me to take it to the other room?
well, I said, I'll just turn it on low and it won't be noticeable. But for some reason, when we text each other, we usually do it on Messenger. It is loud no
And it's
matter what I do.
You have to, yeah. I don't know. Your phone is set up weird.
Okay, so I'm working on this one. Boo. When I was looking at this earlier when the things were just called, I'm not sure I want to do these words underneath.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that I hate them, but I don't think those gnomes need it.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, wouldn't that be cool as a drum?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with that has nothing to do with the words.
Right.
But I don't think they're those names, happy and scary. They don't look like that to me. Anyway, so I probably won't get much more than working on this guy in the 10 days. If I finish him, I will do the back stitching on him if I finish him. And then if there's still more days, I'll start on this one on this side.
That's really cute.
But I really like this pattern. I picked it because Naomi likes gnomes. But I'm not sure she's going to get it. So
Now I lost track. Let's see.
So, and right now, I am working on scissor fobs. I gave up on the lopsided eagle. I can't figure out how to make it level.
Lopsided.
And it just
Tune into last week's episode to see the
it
lopsided
really
eagle.
it really just does not look good, like that. So I'm doing something else. So that is me.
Shall I go next?
If you want to.
Okay. I will go next, and I will undo this stitch that I just did. Okay, so what I'm working on here is preparation for my knitting class that's coming up at the Symphony. I'm teaching a knitting class. I decided Thursdays, starting the 6th, starting this coming Thursday. I'm teaching a knitting class with my coworkers. I think there's going to be 4 students at this point, which is a good amount. We're going to meet at lunchtime and in the conference room and just start with casting on and knit and the knit stitch. So that's what this is. Oops, just got.
So Naomi, where did you learn to knit?
Where did I learn to knit? Well, I guess initially it was you.
I taught you how to crochet.
No, but you also taught me how to knit.
Did I?
I remember in college time, I started knitting with straight needles. I was knitting something, and it was tight, and I called it tight and angry, and that's how I used to knit. So I never really got very far. And then fast forward to, and then I did a lot of crochet and other things. And then I don't remember when it was. I want to say I was in my house because I have this image of myself doing it in my bedroom in this current house where I live, which is since 2010. But I think it was before that. I honestly think it was before that. It had to have been before that. I decided one day, I was like at a craft store, and I was like, I want to learn how to knit socks. They had those little forms.
The sock.
The little, those free patterns that they have on the, on the pad of paper, and you can just tear one off. Sorry, my leg's falling asleep. Because I was sitting on the edge of my chair. My leg is asleep. And they had a sock pattern. I still have that sock. That's the one that's in the paper that's in my bag. I need to.
Oh, you all right?
No, I'm just throwing beads everywhere.
Oh,
I only threw 2 this time.
and I would walk and see the little skeins of sock yarn, and I loved it, and I was so fascinated by it, and I'm like, I theoretically know how to knit. So the very first full-on thing I ever knit was a sock, which is crazy. On double-pointed needles, not on like the little stick needles.
I think that when you're first learning something, you tend to have a tighter
You're
stitch
just like nervous
because
about
you're not sure what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when your brain clicks over to say, "This is fun. I want to do this. This
And-
looks fun," then you relax and your stitches come out better.
So I made a sock, and I never made the second one. I still have that sock, actually. But then I started knitting all kinds of stuff, and I just went from there. But it was crazy that I actually was successful. I turned the heel. I remember going, I'm just going to do everything it exactly says. And at one point, I think I was knitting inside out, because if you're knitting in a circumference, you're supposed to be knitting close to you, and the knit stitches form, and then you can see the purl stitches inside the tube. But I was knitting on the needle farthest from me, and so I was knitting it inside out. I remember that, and I was like, wait, what's so and with my crochet at that time in my life, I would start over and start over and start over until it looked good. And so to a degree, with certain ribbings, I will do that still. Like, oh, this is not my normal gauge, or this is too loose, or whatever. But anyway, so I basically, after that, taught myself and have been self-teaching all along, like through the internet and videos and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm teaching class. It'll be my first actual, I've taught individuals, but this will be my first kind of class. So I'm thinking it through. But what we're making is, I think I talked about this I started it last week. We're making a hand warmer. And it shouldn't take me this long, but I've been doing other things. So my plan is to make it wide enough to go around my wrist this way. And then you sew up. So just knit a rectangle if you wanted to make one. Knit a rectangle that, like, measure the widest part of your hand, like right here. and knit to about that. It doesn't have to be exact because this is stretchy. And you cast on, this one I cast on, now I've completely forgotten. I believe it's 35 stitches, I can count. And you knit every row. So I cast on, this is the cast on row down here, and I knit every single row, which creates garter stitch, which as you'll see is very, very stretchy. Look at that. So this, you don't really have to even knit to those inches. Like around my hand is 8 inches, but this stretches so much that I could get away with probably 5 inches. That's just where it is right now. But you want it cozy and squishy, so I'm gonna knit to 8 inches, and then when you seam it up the side, you seam up and you leave, kind of measure your hand, you know, and you leave you tie it off here, and then you start from here and keep going up. So that creates a hole for your thumb. And that's a wrist warmer. Simple. So this is the first project my knit class is going to do, so I want to have one finished and start the second one while I'm in class with them to demonstrate. So I'm trying to get this done by Thursday. I think it'll be fine. So that's one project. The other thing I've been working on when I'm not doing that is Jordan's sleeve. I showed you the beginnings of it last week, and I'm 10, 20, 30, 40 rows in. Look at that. I love the color changes on it. And it's very puffy. She wanted a very puffy sleeve.
Very fuzzy.
Yeah, this yarn is this is a single. This, if you haven't been for a while or you're new, this yarn is called, where's my label? No, that's not it. Oh, here it is. It's Color Burst by Universal Yarn, and this colorway is called Bursa, and it's a self-striping yarn. It's a single, so it is very fuzzy, and by single I mean it's not plied back on itself. It's only one ply, so that's what makes it so fuzzy and so soft. No, that's not what makes it soft, but it's a type of spinning yarn, and it doesn't have a,
It's called Bursa?
Bursa is the color way. And see, like this yarn, I'll put a close-up of the two yarns side by side. On this yarn, you can see the plies.
Yeah.
See, and if I untwist it, you see them come apart.
Yeah.
And then that yarn is only one single strand, which is a way you can finish yarn. It gives it a certain feel and texture. And then, so I looked at the WIP-GO. I have my calendar here. So 13 for me is a free space. So I'm not even going to try to, because I already have too many projects. What were the other numbers?
9 and 21.
Okay, so 9 was called Money Lou Mittens. So our Aunt Mary Lou, we call her Money Lou, thanks to my nephew Robert. And she won in, I talked about this ages ago. She, in something she went to, won a prize, and the prize was this knitting kit. And it came with these 4 colors, which is really pretty. It was like a learn to knit kit, which is kind of cute. And it came with straight needles. These aren't bamboo, these are birch, I think. Doesn't say. They're wooden, but they're really, really nice. And then it came with a Learn to Knit Club. Learn to Knit Club. I guess it's like a mail thing, a mail order thing that you can do. So I was just thinking I might poach this book for my class. This is kind of cute. I could just make photocopies. Shh, don't tell. Anyway, this has you just like making a scarf and using all the colors for the scarf. It's just really cute, which is really the first thing you should make. But For me, I thought for a beginner, a scarf is too big a commitment. It's really hard. And so I thought the wrist warmers would be nice because you can finish it quickly. You don't get bored. Anyway, that's not what this was about. So, so this was in the kit's got a nice yarn needle, this nice book, and the needles. And she says, and this is Knit Picks yarn. It's really nice. It's 100% fine superwash merino. It's very soft, and I like these colors. And I said, well, what do you want? She goes, knit me something from it. And I said, okay, what do you want? And I said, do you want a scarf? She's like, no. And I was like, darn. And I was like, okay. And so then I said, well, what do you need? Do you need a hat? She's like, no. And then she said, what about mittens? And I was like, okay, I can do mittens. So my challenge for WIP-GO is to find a pattern and make mittens for my aunt by the time winter comes around. So that's what she said she wanted, and I think they'd be really cute. I looked for a while when I very first got this kit from her, and so I need to go back and finalize something. And I want to do color work because I've got all 4 of those colors. I thought it'd be really a nice, it's a nice combo to do some color work. So that is number 9 WIP-GO for me. And then number 21 is, I'll put a picture here. It's a headband pattern by a young lady in New Mexico who is a Native American, a Navajo woman. And she was in Knit Stars a couple of seasons ago. I didn't do Knit Stars this year. I don't know. Nobody noticed that I didn't do it. But I was like, I'm so far behind. I have not knit anything that I was supposed to be knitting with all the yarn that I bought for the last 3 years. I haven't not knit anything, but I haven't knit enough. So I was like, I need to take a break. It's a lot of money, and Mark is so nice, and he always lets me order yarn and all that, blah blah blah. But I decided I can't. I'm not gonna just add that to myself this year. So anyway, but she was Knit Stars a couple of years ago, and this is how far I got. So I bought these 9-inch knitting needles for this project. It's a whole set by Chai-gu needles, which in my opinion, are the best needles, at least that I have found yet. I know there are other companies out there that are thought of as well, but because they have those plastic coated steel cables which don't twist up on you, and it makes it really nice. Anyway, these are 9-inch needles set. It's a whole set by Chai-gu, and I bought them for this pattern because this is a pattern that you knit in the round, and then eventually you it becomes a tube, and then you sew the ends of the tube. Actually, you keep live stitches. Like, so this has what you call a provisional cast on, where you do a cast on with a crochet stitch and knit into it, and then you can take the provisional cast on this contrasting yarn. You can take it out and you have live stitches, and then you can graft the 2 ends together. But before you graft it together, you give it one twist, and that makes a little twisted headband, which I will put pictures up here. It is 3-color work, which I have not done a lot of, and it's very small. So I got it, what is it, like maybe 10 rows maybe, and got kind of like, this is one of those patterns it's hard for me to do because I have to sit and look and watch and focus, which I like knitting where I like that kind of knitting, but I also like this sort of just mindless, just knitting, and I don't have to focus. But these are the colors. Aren't those gorgeous? These are by the Farmer's Daughter fibers, and these 3 colors, they're so beautiful. And like I said, I will put a picture of the finished product. But the 3 colors are Romance, In a Jam, and Bear Gulch. And I don't remember which is which. I would say probably In a Jam is the dark red. And the, what did I say? I think Romance is the orange, and Bear Gulch is the green. That's what I think. But I don't know for certain. Anyway, so that's my number 21, and I thought, my first initial thought when I looked at that, I said, I'm not going to work on that. But who knows? I might. So that was my encouragement from the WIP-GO people of like, you should look at these things you've been hoarding forever. And that is it for me in terms of fiber projects. I'm done.
Okay. I'm done.
Yeah.
So, I'm on the cusp of finishing my June stuff and all that. So
we have a few more hours.
I do, and I probably will need all of them. So my WIP stitching was the 2 ships, the Running with the Wind and Clipper ship, which I showed last week, and before that. And so it was like 6 days on each one. So I did about 7.5 days on each one. And actually, I could have spent this whole week working more on one or the other of them, but I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I also had 2 new starts, which was, one of them was the piece I did for cross stitch camp that I finished, and the other one was this one that I'll show you in a minute. But then I also had 2 FFOs, 1 FFO in each square that was called last time. So I had Stoneware Snowman by Priscilla's Pocket, and I finished it. I did this little, did the backing, this is upside down, it's not. Backing fabric, and then I struggle sewed this pom-pom trim on there. And so this is finished. This is and I was looking at my my FFO, my WIP-GO chart, and apparently the snowman, it said Snowman PP, which I assumed was Priscilla's Pocket. This note, but I have another snowman by Puntini. And I think that was actually the one that was on. But whatever. I have another snowman. I don't know. But so anyway, so I did this, and during Mania, I started the Stoneware Bunny, and I decided to finish it. So I haven't put the pom pom trim on there that came with it yet, but this is the finished. Help if I held it right. The Stoneware Bunny. So I had done previously Stoneware Cat and Stoneware Kitten. They're squishing out of my hands. But so I will have a set of 4 then that all match once they're all done.
You
So
can put it on your Barbie couch. All those little pillows.
So this one wasn't part of my FFO list, but since it matched and I had the stuff, it's So I was gonna try to finish it by today, but I don't have to because it's not on any WIP-GO list. It's just extra. And then I did the.
You know what you remind me of sometimes?
Hmm.
That dog in the commercial when the son says that he did some assignment and got an A, and the dog goes, "Yeah, I walked in the woods, and I didn't even get a flea."
Yeah. So this is my rabbits. And I was going to do some other, I have these little stick-on bunnies that I was going to put on there, but I decided not to.
I like it.
But, so this is January.
See, I thought you were going to do them like this.
Well, I thought about that, but then
Well, we talked about it, and I said the tag will come. We decided the tag will come down.
Yeah.
And I said we'll put the holes on the bottom.
Yeah. I thought about putting it on the side.
It's cute.
and
like
then it would not have hung right. So
Yeah.
I like it better on the bottom.
That's fair.
Yeah, and
I like
so
the way you cut the ribbon, but this one's coming up right there.
yeah, no, I have to.
Oh, it's tape.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that was my one concern was with it's washi tape, and so it and especially because I had to handle it,
Yeah.
to do because I didn't want to just like snip it straight or whatever. So
Rogue, get over here,
I did
baby.
Come here,
little-
Rogue.
So this is February, and what I
fine.
did was I made cording. So what I did is the and this is March, sorry. That they all are Gloriana silks. They're done in Gloriana silks, and to make the cording, what I did was I went to these are by Tracy Horner of Ink Circles, and on Ink Circles on their website there is a chart that has all the Gloriana colors, but it also has a DMC conversion, and so I wrote down the DMC numbers for these, and then got DMC thread to make the cording out of. So there's white on this one, and
That
one
must have
of
been
the-
really hard to match.
what?
The white.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's different shades of white.
That's true.
But, and so this one here is like a kind of a wine color. And then I also use that color, to make the little, to just, hang the little tags off of there. And then this one is like, I think it was called Evergreen, is the green color of the silks.
Nice.
And so, yeah. So, so there's, and then, sorry. I can finish the other ones because I have 12 of these discs, so I can finish the other ones
As you go.
if I ever finish stitching them. Yeah. So there's that. Can you put these over there on the ironing board or somewhere? Because let me get them out of the way because I have so much crap. So so my other new start for my WIP-GO board is this Puntini, What's Your Superpower? I think I showed it last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just decided to work on this all this week, off and on, in between my FFO efforts. So because
She's not kidding about effort. She sat here for hours working on it.
Well, and part of it was like, I had to really think through the rabbits, because I changed my mind a few times about what I was doing, and then, and then I during stories, I have a story to tell about making a cording.
Yeah, you do.
So, but anyway, so I talked about last time how I had started out with the leaves and I had, messed them up and had to start over again, and I was, decided to do the tree trunk instead. So I've gotten actually pretty far. Right now I'm stitching a bad word because I got the G and the R, and I'm stitching ASS on the grass. And then I want to stitch the word superpower down here, and then all that will be left is the green little hill that the sheep is standing on. So that's what I'm working on now. So this is almost finished, actually. I just started it last week, I guess.
Last
Yeah.
week, well,
Yeah.
you had a little bit of the tree.
Yeah, I started the tree just before we started filming, and then it was all messed up. I had to take the whole thing out, all the leaves. Almost all of them I took out, and then started over again so I could get them in the right.
So I told my boss yesterday when I missed something up twice, I was like, anything worth doing is worth doing twice.
But so so it's all done now except for the hill and then the words, a few more words. So I just decided to keep working on it. And then, so my plans for July. I'm going to just start with the FFO stuff because it's on the top of the pile here. And somewhere I have the pictures. Here it is. So one of the ones I'm doing is, let's see if I get this right. Christmas at Winterberry Cabin. I always say, like, I want to say Winterberry Farm, but it's Winterberry Cabin. And this picture is a little messed up because I had one of those vinyl front bags it was in originally, and it stuck to the vinyl right here. Yeah. So, it's a nice big fat Santa, and
Cute.
and it's all in, I want to say, Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks, Fancy Floss Weeks, and
It's pretty.
yeah. It's very prim though, because all the like sort of green colors are kind of, they're all very close together and very.
By prim, you mean primitive?
Yeah.
Look.
And if I'd have thought about it, I would have put this. I didn't realize it was so small. I would have put it in the corner of this fabric because the fabric is very large, and it's I started in the middle, and so I wasted all the fabric all around it. But And actually, I was gonna do this for my mother, and then she got sick and passed away. So I think I finished this maybe in early 2020
Oh, I
or
didn't
something.
realize you had finished it. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna FFO it, and I think I'm just gonna make it into a pillow.
That's so pretty.
You mean I'm going to make it into a pillow?
She's gonna sew it. I'm gonna stuff it and trim it and all that stuff.
She measures it and all that.
Yeah.
That's the
The
hard
only thing I
part of
do
making
is-
a pillow. Is all the measuring and cutting.
The only
That's
thing I
so
do,
pretty.
the only
Yeah.
thing I do is put my foot on the pedal.
The one thing I did was like in here the flame on the candle. That's the only place that color appears in this whole thing. And I actually I think I might have used the DMC color or made it bigger or something. I did
That's
something
really
different
pretty.
because it was like you couldn't even see it.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So that's one of my FFO projects. And then the other thing I had listed was Elephant and Pug, which is an owl for. Oh, this one is Brenda Gervais, I think. Yeah, Brenda Gervais is this design. And so then, and I don't remember what number that is of my FFOs. Might be, oh, that's number 13. So number 9, my FFOs, is this Al Force embroidery Elephant and Pug. I have two little Al Force things, and then the big one is the whale that I worked on earlier this year. So I'm going to put this up here so the sun doesn't shine through it. But Elephant Pug, I don't have I have a picture of it somewhere, but not here, not with me. I couldn't find it. But since I have this to FFO, I'm also going to do Dragonfly Ant. And I'm thinking I might do both of them together, like on a flat finish, and stick it to something so that they're together.
Do they go together?
Well, they're part of the same series of, what do they call
Like a folk, like
fables or
fables,
something? Yeah. So this is another Al Force.
Like maybe our one of our equivalents would be the tortoise and the hare or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so there's I don't know. I don't think I looked up this particular fable, the Dragonfly Ant fable. The Elephant and Pug I did look up before, and it's complicated. The story behind it. But anyway, so this is an extra. So I'm doing as if I didn't have enough to do. I'm doing these two together, and then my number 21 FFO, I have smalls, and so I have a lot of several of them here. If I can get those. Okay, so this one is a. Oh, there's the Elephant Pug. I mean, not Elephant Pug. Dragonfly Ant. Anyway, so all the smalls. This is by Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. It's a free chart, an itty bitty chart, Happy Cat is what it's called. And so I'm just going to show a little bit from back here. You can't see it enough to steal the pattern. But anyway, it's on her website. She has a bunch of little freebies on her website. This Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. And I can't remember if I know the person's name. Melissa Vandergriff did that. And I have a whole bunch of little smalls. So that's one of them. Let me get them out of here. Yeah, here it is. So
Oh my gosh.
there's
those
a
really
little
are
kitty.
small. Cute.
And then this is by Lindy Stitches, and this is just a little freebie that came. I ordered something from them, and she sent this little postcard with this little turtley lovable is what it's called. It's a little turtle with a heart, and it's very tiny.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm thinking I
It's like
might
a
make
postage
a
stamp.
scissor fob or something out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very tiny. And then I have this. This is one of those little mini things. This is an artiste thing from Hobby Lobby. This little bunny.
Yeah.
And it comes with a little plastic frame, and I may or may not use the little frames, but this is the
cute
bunny. And here's the little frame that came with it. And then this is another one of those. This is the little Busilla My First Stitch little kit. That's a nativity scene. And this one also came with a frame thing, but this little nativity thing.
You're going to do all of those?
Yeah, I think so. I think I can because they're, like I said, they're
Is this for
they're all
July?
smalls. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's an awful lot of them.
And then one that I cut wrong, and I don't think I have a picture of it. Is this little Santa that goes inside this frame, and I cut it wrong. I didn't cut any margin around the picture, so I may do something else with it and not frame it, but it's a little Santa. I don't know what I'm gonna. I may have to add some fabric to it to make it finishable. And then the other thing I did, Michelle Bendisticci, I think was the one that designed this. It's I don't know if it was. It's a phrase, Mr. Rogers' phrase. It's "you I like," and I think Kitten Stitcher, Teresa Vanette, first talked about it long time ago, and then I think it was Michelle Bendisticci that designed this, that just made a little quickie design of the phrase, and so various people. It was a little freebie, I think, and I know I stitched this for my friend of mine, but then I did this on this funky weird red fabric, so I'm going to finish that, and I think maybe as a bookmark, or maybe I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. And then the other thing, the last thing, is this little Bristol, the kit thing says a little lanyard. But this little kit I bought at the attic some time ago, and so it came with thread and everything, but and the pattern. Bristol free chart, a little lanyard by this person, Melissa. I can't read it. It's tiny writing. Lanyard Designs. This little thing. But it came with a little piece of backing fabric and this little tiny design and the threads and everything. So that's another one of my.
What's that for? I mean, like, what do you do with it?
I don't know. Just gonna make a little pillow or something. Probably maybe another scissor fob or something. You
Little
know?
pillow for your big toe?
Yeah. So anyway, these are all my smalls that I want to finish. So it's a lot of stuff, but you know. Then so yeah, so I have three things: the Winterberry cabin, the smalls, and the elephant and pug thing, plus the dragonfly and ant. So it's a lot of stuff. So that's all my FFOs for July. Can't get that in. Sorry. I want to get that in so I don't lose anything. I've got a big mess here. Sorry. Okay, then I haven't even gotten to my WIPs yet. I'll put this over there somewhere.
Oh,
Sorry.
brother.
It's got a mess. Oh. Here. Okay. So my my WIPs then for July. Number 9 is Pandemic, which is I've been working on, you know, for quite some time. So, but I should say I worked on it a little bit, but you know, some time ago. So this is where I am. I started in the middle, so you know, with this giant piece of fabric.
Well, you were changing colors.
Yeah, I was originally I bought like every blue color that of DMC that they had, and then when I started, I thought I'm not going to do that, and then I decided yes I am. I'm going to do some of them at least. So down here I got to these deer and did them in étoile, and then a different light blue down here. So. The only thing I haven't done, I realized, is I don't know if I wrote down what color I was using for what. So I'm going to have to look, because I think I probably have this bobbinated, you know, somewhere. So, yeah. And this is like, I don't know what, like 9:30 or something like that, this dark.
I have about, let's see, where's that? Do you have that owl done?
I don't know. This is the center, so I don't know.
I have like right here, I have about this much done. And I can't.
You didn't write down
find
which
it.
color was what you put where?
I might. I don't know.
Because the pattern is all one color.
Yeah.
I know,
Intention.
but since she was changing colors, I mean.
I don't know. But so that's Pandemic. So that's number 9. And then number 13 is Hello Pumpkin. That's this one here. It was a mystery SAL, and somehow I don't have a printout of the finished design, but it's, you know, there's like a hedgehog and I don't know what all in there. And so I've been working on this little by little since it came out several years ago. So I'm kind of at the top. I still have a lot of leaves to fill in here and there, but this is like the outline, part of the hedgehog. This little, you can't really see it. It's kind of light colored. But the owl I think I finished, and the fox. I don't know if there's. Yeah. But yeah. So like I said, there's a hedgehog, and I forget what else. The bottom part down here is finished, but I think up in the tree itself, there's some leaves and stuff that are not finished.
What happened?
So. You all right?
Nothing. I just I can't believe it took me that long to finish it off.
So then, my number 21 is my three-legged elephant, blue elephant. This is a DMC kit that I got at, I don't know, Joann's probably. But this is the elephant that I started some time ago that has only 3 legs. And it has a weird, like they started to do a 4th leg or something, but they didn't finish. It has a weird thing under there.
And it's in the pattern too?
Yeah, the pattern doesn't have the weird line on there. There's just 3 legs.
Looks like an umbilical cord.
If he just gave birth, I don't know. Yeah, so I think I have on the chart, I have sketched out like a 4th leg in pencil. You know, I penciled in a 4th leg. But yeah.
That's funny.
So this one, yeah, it goes like this. I did the ear and this is his trunk, its trunk here. So yeah, so
That's
I wanted
funny.
to do, you know, it was a little kit with all the threads and stuff like that. So, but yeah, and this it came with Ada, and I dyed that. So and oh, this Hello Pumpkin is Caterpillar cross stitch is what that came from. And then the other news I had was that my summer issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher came the other day.
And is that the one you were waiting for forever?
Well, no, the spring one never did come. I emailed them and they extend, because the spring one was supposed to be the end of my subscription, but they extended it to the summer one, and so this is my little subscription form I want to save. But there's some really cute. This Memories from Nantucket by Simona Buseglian. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I really like. Okay, show that. Memories from Nantucket. Says I've made up my mind now to be a. Let me. I can read it better back here. To be a sailor's wife, to have a purse full of money and a very easy life. But when he says goodbye, my love, I'm off across the sea. It's really cute. It has a little ship and a whale and a little house. Here. And I like the one on the front. Also, it's a Teresa Kogut design on the front. It's called Sailor's Delight on the front.
Oh, yeah, Pam was doing that. She got it at a... Didn't she get that somewhere? Is that not the same pattern?
I don't think that's the same one. She had another.
I wish I could do punch needle. I mean, I can, but I wish
Yeah. I know. Well, you know, I was
could.
looking at it, and
It's so
a
pretty.
long time ago, and thinking, you know, I don't know if because I watched people do it, and you know, and then I finally watched Vanna Pfeiffer's punch needle thing, and I was like, I think I understand it, but I still haven't done it, you know. But
It's
yeah, well, and you know, I was gonna say when making the cording and stuff, I follow the Vanna Pfeiffer's videos. She has a couple different ones for the cording. She has an older one that she used, and then a newer one where she has a slightly different technique to do it. But I like the older one. I felt like I could do the older one better. But because before Eve bought the little Kreinik drill, but before that, I didn't have it. I was there's another video about making cording, like just using a pencil and, you know, twisting it and all that, and I used that one a lot, but it's for, the video is for like 2-color cording, and I wanted to do single color cording for these rabbits, and so I watched Vanna's older video over and over again so I could understand it, and transitioning into stories. I'll go ahead and tell my cording story now. My catastrophe. I have two catastrophe stories, but the one with the cording. So I'm making cording, and I had when I made my lengths, I had used up basically almost all of a skein of thread, and so. I had, when you use a skein of thread of DMC, if you pull it off of the end, that has a long label on it with the number on it, you can pull it off of that end and you won't get tangled up. But then so as I was pulling it off, and the labels, the little labels and everything were there on the bed, and I was putting them in my my little trash heap thing, but this one of them had fallen on the floor, and so as I was making cording, I saw that one on the floor, and I just tossed it on my bed because I thought, well, I'll throw it away in a minute. But so I made the white cording, and I put it on the bed. And I made the red cording, and I put that on the bed, and I was in the middle of making the green cording. So here I had it, and I was twisting the little Kreinik tool, and my cat Puck got on the bed, and he was playing with that little DMC label. He was batting it around, whatever. And I was like, I kind of scolded him, don't do that, because the cording was right there, and I was afraid, he was going to mess with it. So he's messing with this little label, and I said, stop that. And, got it, scolded him and got him down off there. And I was, still making this cording, twisting it. And then he got back up on the bed, and he starts batting the cording around, the red and white cording, batting it around. And I'm like, stop it. And I was getting more, worked up about it. And then, he was like kind of biting at it. And I was afraid he was going to like bite it in half and bite through it or whatever. And so I'm like, stop it! And I still have this cording, so I didn't know what to, if I should put it down or whatever. And before I knew it, he jumped off the bed, and the cording had gotten stuck on his tooth, I guess. And so he jumped off the bed with the cording, and I'm like, stop! And so he ran away from me, and then I was trying to catch him, and he ran under the bed. I was like, no! And so he came back out from under the bed, and he still had the cording in his mouth, and so I'm trying to catch him, and he's running around, and he ran under the bed again, and I'm like, get out of there. So he came out from under the bed without the cording. I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm like and I'm screaming at him, and he was out there.
You think it's funny now. I'm sitting there on the couch, and I figured when she started yelling it was her cats, right? And then I'm like, is she okay? What's going on?
So then I had to get my broom, and I'm like, sweeping dust bunnies out from under the bed, trying to like.
He's like, you needed to sweep anyway, Mom.
I'm hoping that the cording is where I can reach it, because I don't know what's under there, and my little broom isn't really long enough to reach all the way under the bed. So I'm like, frantically sweeping stuff out, sweeping all the, like, scolding, Puck. I always tell him, I'm gonna beat you with a stick.
No.
I don't. I would never beat my cat with a stick, but I always tell them that. That's my biggest threat. I'm gonna beat you with a stick.
They know you're lying.
But so finally, fortunately, one of the sweeps out, there's the white cording, and I'm like, of course it's the white one, and I'm like, running it through like my shirt to get all the lint and stuff off of it, and I'm like, so yeah, that's my.
So I have a story.
Well, my other catastrophe story is.
Well, real quick, let me interject.
Uh-huh.
I have a cord stuck on a tooth story.
Oh. Uh-huh.
When Hannah was a baby, she had one of those pull toys.
Oh, yes.
It was a phone, one of those little phones with the eyes that go like that when you pulled it, and it just had a shoestring, a red shoestring, kind of the round ones.
Uh-huh.
And he loved chewing on strings of any kind. And I guess I caught him. I don't remember how it started. I guess I caught him chewing on it. And I scolded him, like, stop it. And he took off. But when he took off, the cord had gotten stuck on his long tooth. And so when he started running, there goes the phone. And that cat, it scared him because something's chasing me. And he took off and he ran out into the living room, up onto the couch, and back down around with that stupid phone following him. I don't know how his tooth didn't get pulled out. Finally, I caught him like that and pulled it off. And he had that stink of death fear, like he released all his glands. And he smelled horrible. I was like, do I have to bathe him? But then it just dissipated. But he got so scared.
It's like when
I felt
Savannah
so
got the cayenne pepper
Yeah.
juice in her eye, and she's running around, and I knew what had happened, and I'm like, because she used to love it when I would eat, she could smell it, and I would pull the chicken off of the very innermost part of the chicken, near the bone, so that it wouldn't have as much of the spice on it, but she loved it. So she could smell that I had it, and I picked up what I was eating, and some of the juice went out of the box, and she's looking up hoping that something will drop in her mouth, and the juice dropped on her eye, and she's flying, and I'm like, and you know how cats don't want to let you put them under the sink water when it's flowing. I stuck her under the sink where the water could hit her eye, and all of a sudden she went.
What else happened when you were making cording?
Oh, I'll tell you in a second. And it wasn't a cording thing, but I meant to say this is my camp project for July. This whales over here. This is a Noah's Christmas Ark 3 by Plum Street Samplers. Whales and squirrels. So there's two little squares. So I'm doing the whales, and I can't decide. I might do it on this fabric, because then all my summer camp projects would be on the same fabric. I have one coming up for August on this same fabric, and the one I did for June is on this fabric. So I might do it on that, and I might use this 32 count Merino Crochet ice. But I might not. Anyway, yeah. The other thing was that my phone charger cord is plugged in there beside my bed, and I guess I had my phone plugged in, and Snug has this thing where he jumps up on the corner of my bed and gets on my nightstand, apparently just to get my attention, or I don't know what. But so he does that routinely. He'll jump up and he'll jump down. And he'll jump up and he'll jump down. And one of the times that he jumped on there, I don't know if I was asleep or if I didn't notice, whatever. But I went to get my phone. I was like, what's going on? I was afraid he had knocked it down and like bent the charger, the little thing that goes in, I was afraid because it looked all wonky. And I looked at it, and what it is the little plastic that goes over and under the part of the charger was like busted off. So it was like part of it was sticking up like this, and the other part is gone. I don't know where it is, but so I ended up just pulling it off. So it's like naked metal, sticking.
Oh
it still works, but it was like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, hang on. I gotta count my rows before I forget what
please.
I'm doing. Yeah. No, I this week watched the second season of The Bear. Have you watched it?
Mm-mm.
Have either of you watched it?
I've heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
It is so good. It's on Hulu. If you haven't watched it, I recommend you watch it. It's very, very intense. And there's a lot of foul language, but it's about a chef and basically his family and his trying to fix himself after his brother dies. But it is so good. And Mark and I last Saturday, so we knew that the second season was coming out. I think it was on Friday. And Mark said, I want to watch the first season again before we watch the second season. So we watched like half. The episodes are very short. We watched like half of season 1 on Friday night, and then Saturday lunch we watched the rest of it. And so at Saturday dinner, we were like, "You want to watch season 2?" And he's like, "Okay." We were up all night, so engrossed in that show that at 3 a.m. I went, I forgot to edit the video.
Oh.
So I was up all night but it was, it's so good. So I'm recommending that. That was my weekend last weekend. But we had a visitor. I can't remember what day it was. Maybe it was Sunday. I think Eli and I went out on an errand, came back, and Mark goes, he goes, I have to show you a picture. We had a visitor in the yard, and it was a picture of a grasshopper, pretty big.
Oh.
And then we were inside, and he was outside watering, and he goes, come here. So we run out to the front yard, and we have some plants in a box right near our front door. And there was a grasshopper. I wasn't even sure it was a grasshopper because it was so big. I've never seen one that big. But it was probably this long. I will put a picture here. It was like a dinosaur. I was like, what? And this one picture I have, he's like this on a plant, and he's just looking with his big old eyes. But I was like, I can't believe this. And I don't know. So we watched him for a long time. So big.
It was Hopper.
And it was Hopper. I was like, is it a locust? You know, I don't know the difference between a locust and a grasshopper. But I asked the Google Lens, and it said that it was a bird grasshopper, which isn't, that can get up to like 3 inches long. But man, I was like, that is going to make some bird a juicy, juicy meal. It was huge. And of course I sent it to Eve. I was like, your worst nightmare came to visit us.
There is a reason for that.
What? That I sent you? Yeah, 'cause
No,
she hates
that
bugs.
it's my worst nightmare.
Oh.
Don't you know why?
Why?
So when we were kids, we had a big tree in the backyard, a Russian elm, I think.
Russian olive.
Olive.
Yeah. I
And-
love that tree.
And we used to like to go in the shade of the tree just to sit and, hang out and all that. And so I was under there one time, and a giant grasshopper landed on my leg. And it wouldn't get off. I mean, I stood up, and I'm like, and it would not get off. I had to actually go, to get it to leave. And actually, I think that's the last time I sat under that tree. And so, not too much longer after that, maybe a year, I don't know, we were on vacation, family vacation. And we were in, I think, a truck stop diner. And I looked at my drink. I think it was water. And there was a giant grasshopper in it. And I'm like screaming. And it might have been the same size as that. I mean, it was big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I think it was Tim, but it might have been Dad, stuck their glass over it.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I remember having
I don't
one-
even know how it got in there. I didn't see it jump in there.
Maybe you were drinking it all along?
No, it wasn't in there before.
Oh, weird.
I remember one like in the middle of my back, I think.
Ew.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe I told this story. We had a lot of we had like a wave of a lot of grasshoppers in town, especially in Phoenix. I heard a lot of people saying there's grasshoppers everywhere. And I went to get my blood drawn one morning, and where I go, it's in the doctor's office, and the lab is like is part of the doctor's office. So there's like a little hallway, and the lab is like in a tiny little room right there. So when you're in the lobby, you could hear the lab technician talking to the person. And I hear them saying something, grasshoppers, yeah, but there's a lot of grasshoppers. And then I hear the patient lady go, Yeah, I was walking, and all of a sudden, one was in my mouth.
Oh, gross.
I was like, oh my gosh. That happened to me once too, because we had a lot one summer, and I was walking on my front walk, and I was wearing flip-flops, and I'm walking, and all of a sudden, it was under my foot, and it jumped onto my shoe. The problem with grasshoppers is they're random. They're one of those categories of random bugs that just fly all over the place. They don't fly in any one particular direction. Like, you can't predict. If a grasshopper is facing away from you, you honestly cannot predict which way they're going to jump. And they probably will jump backwards and get on you. Like, they don't, like, you know, if you encounter an ant, they're going about their business. They're going in a straight line. They're going in the straight line that they have always gone. Maybe they're going side to side because they're, you know, but you can tell which way they're going to go. And you can actually follow them or go around behind them or whatever. Roaches, no. Roaches are, right? Cicadas, they have wings, but they don't work very well. And they don't fly in any one particular direction. And they just, that's how they fly. Bonk.
You know, when we were young, we were at Grandma's house, and my grandmother lived where they burned their garbage, and then there was a big expanse behind her house of it wasn't anybody's house or anything like that. It was a field, and that ended in a creek. And I remember one summer, one of our cousins was there, and he was standing near an open flame in that little thing that they would burn their garbage in. Mm-hmm. And I remember there were, maybe it was at Uncle El's house, there were tons of cicadas that year. Mm-hmm. And he had one in his hands, and he was plucking their wings off and then tossing them into the... I was like, that's gross. He's like, what? They're just cicadas. And I was like, yeah, but that's mean. He goes, well, you don't want them around, do you? And I'm like, I don't want them around me. Yeah. But I still don't think you should pluck their wings off and throw them in the fire. Yeah.
You told me to remind you about something, but some story.
And probably everybody else has noted this, but I must be singularly unobservant. I have watched Ice Age dozens of times.
The movie, the cartoon movie, for those of you who don't know.
And my son, when he was very little, my mother was very hard of hearing, and she liked to turn the TV up loud so she could hear it, and when he was trying to go to sleep, there was a lot of TV sound behind it. And so now it is very difficult for him to sleep if he is not listening to the TV. He has no intention of watching it, but he has to have something on. And yeah, whenever he gets married, his wife is going to go, what's the matter with you? Anyway, he had on Ice Age. He put on Ice Age and almost immediately went to sleep, but I was watching it because it's a funny movie, right? And there's a section in that movie where they go through an ice tunnel, an ice cave. In that section, I've always thought that the ride they should make was not Jurassic Park. It's going down that thing of the Ice Age thing where they're going down the slide. Anyway, you see Sid looking almost like displays of a museum. And then they walk by a giant UFO in the ice, right? Spaceship. I've always seen that. But this is the first time that I ever noticed that the little kid in that movie, he's looking at it and he goes... And I was like, okay. Yeah, the animators have a huge sense of humor.
That's so funny.
I was like, that little kid is making fun. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, so I have a comment on the weather. Mm-hmm. I was given
Other
this,
than yuck.
Well, yeah, I was given this as my parking pass, but look, it looks like a piece of bologna in the oven. I left it in my. I keep it in my car. I don't know if you can see. It's like concave now, and I don't know how to fix it, and I feel kind of bad. It still works, of course. It's just like you can't really see. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's really bad. I'll put a close-up picture, but I'm like, I don't know how to, because I leave it like this, on its side in the little door pocket, because it's just always right there, and I don't lose it, and I won't lose it that way. But so I'm terrified of showing up at the garage, even bringing it in here. I got nervous because I was like, what if I forget to put it back? But scissors. But I was looking at it today or yesterday, and I was like, oh, this is really bad.
Yeah, it's starting to get up to like 109 or so.
Yeah.
And it's not anything we're not used to, but you still have to remember to adjust your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I forgot a couple of times to put the shade on the car. Then you have to hold the steering wheel.
I know, it's so funny. So our new president and CEO and our executive secretary are both from other parts of the country, and this is their first summer. So it has been so much fun to like, oh, just wait.
Did you tell them about the batteries?
Wait. No, you know that?
You need to tell them about the batteries.
Yeah, your car batteries don't last very long.
That is an understatement.
Oh, look what Beth got me. She got me a little notepad. It's a magnet notepad that says, "Nobody gets between me and my yarn." And it's a bunch of gnomes wearing knitted hats. So cute. I'm going to use this at work. It's so cute.
The first summer I was here, I got stranded at a 4th of July. And it was, dark. And Naomi had already left with her family, and
we had to come back and rescue you.
And then the first year Beth was here,
hers died.
Yeah, I was trying to get a job, so I had a job interview, and I went out to my car and it wouldn't start. And I was like, ah! And fortunately, Naomi was home, and so she was able to come and rescue me and take me to the interview. And then when I got back, I went to call AAA, but then before I called them, or maybe I had already called them, but I tried it again and it started. And then I was able to go to Walmart that day, I guess, to get a new battery. But yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough on batteries.
Yeah, and here, there's no point in buying a battery that's supposed to last, a really long time, because it's not gonna. And after you get it replaced with your, replacement battery that they give you, they only give you that once. So, so you
usually though the batteries are supposed to last more than 1 year, so you kind of wind up getting free batteries your whole time, because a lot of
if you remember to take it as soon as it starts sounding, you can get at least a free battery then. But yeah, you gotta be vigilant here on batteries, or you will be stranded.
You will be. Yeah, I need to warn them.
Yeah, because that part of it isn't amusing.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun. All right.
So, we're gonna go see Indiana Jones.
Yes, we're gonna go see Indiana Jones
today, tonight, whatever.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the popcorn.
Yeah.
The pickle.
I'm looking forward to the
pickles. Oh, pickle story! I have a pickle story. Oh my gosh. Okay. At Costco, we buy these pickles called grillos, I guess is how you call them. I don't know. I assume that's how you pronounce them. My mother would say grillos, but it's GRILLO''. And if you all have had them from Costco, you know they are the best pickles. They're so good. They're very fresh. They come in a plastic tub, and you break the seal, and then there's a little lid on there. But the lid isn't like screwed on. It's just like one of those little, kind of like this. But even less grabby than that. And we had a probably half full one.
Dropped another bead.
And we decided to make like chicken patty sandwiches one night for dinner. And so I said, Eli, grab the pickles. And Eli reaches in and he grabs it by the lid like this, and it's on a top shelf like this. And he grabs it, and Mark said he saw it happen, but the lid came off, and the pickles fell.
How sad.
In our brand new refrigerator, hit the bottom shelf, and then fell out. Now, fortunately, because it's plastic, you didn't have glass, but probably I would still find a little pickle somewhere in my kitchen right now. But there was, and the vinegar, of course, fell right on my feet and Eli's feet. And I'm like, it was probably really good for our skin, but so he's like, if you take me to Costco, I'll buy you more pickles. But it was like just the pickle disaster of 2023. But because it landed right on the door to the freezer, but the seal, it didn't get in. But the seal had vinegar like in the little wrinkles of how the seals have those wrinkles. Oh, it was so sad. It's like, I love those pickles.
Beth buys pickles. I almost never eat them.
I love pickles. I like eating
I
pickles.
used to love
with
them
cheese.
too, but anymore I don't want them.
Oh, I love them.
At
Depends on the
Firehouse, I always give Beth my pickle.
Sometimes you have to be in the mood, but
My favorite thing was the one time I went to see a movie, I don't know, at the IMAX theater when I lived in Little Rock, and the guy down the road from me, I guess, had a pickle, and they came in a like a paper cup, I guess, or they gave him a paper cup because the pickle comes in a little plastic sleeve with juice, yeah. And so he had opened it up, I guess, and had it in the little cup, and ate the pickle, but then the juice was left in the cup, and then he left, at the end of the movie. And so I think I had stayed to watch the end credits or something like that, and I was getting out, and in the meantime, the workers had come in to clean the theater, and as I was walking out, there was a glass of juice there, looking like a urine sample in the drawer. So I told the guys, "Be careful, there's juice in there," because I don't want them to accidentally spill it on themselves or
I think
something.
it was some other weird thing.
Yeah, I think it was a urine sample.
Well, we better go. We've been chatting a while.
Yes.
Look, I'm almost done. I have a half an inch left.
But I have a pickle story.
Oh, you have a pickle story?
Yeah.
Oh, dog's coming. Dog thinks we should be done. What's your pickle story?
When I adopted Robert, he doesn't really like pickles anymore, but at that time, he liked pickles quite a bit. And I got a list of food he liked and food he didn't like. But, when you're making their lunch or something like that, I wasn't used to who he was, so I just knew he liked pickles. And I would make him a sandwich or something, but I wanted to make sure there was something that he really liked. And so I would give him a little snack baggie of sliced pickles. I wouldn't have any juice in there or anything. It wasn't a mess. And he'd come home and he'd still have his pickles in his lunch thing. And I asked him, "Aren't you giving him the pickles?" And she said, "Why would we give him a bag of pickles?" And I was like, "Because I put them in there."
Because I'm his mother. So I'm fortunate enough to work with people who like pickles. And I bought a jar. So Chompy's is a place here that's like a Jewish deli. And they sell in their restaurant, when you eat, they give you instead of a basket of bread, they'll give you a boat of pickles. And they have full sours and half sours. And the half sours are the best. And you can buy them. When you're at the restaurant, you can buy them in a fresh, in one of those tubs, like those restaurant tubs. But you can also, they jar them. And the grocery store near my work has a Chompy's Deli in it. And I was like, "Do you have any half sour pickles?" And they were like, "Yes, we have them jarred." So I went and got a jar and I took it to work. And I was like, do y'all want sliced pickles? So I just quarter them every once in a while, and I walk around the office and pass out pickles. And so I'm like, there's a jar in there, anybody can have them. So that apparently there's only one left. I completely forgot about them, but somebody's been eating them. It's the office pickles.
Somebody brought to the office when I worked at Blue Cross in Little Rock. Somebody had made pickles and brought some in a little jar, in a little cup. You know, they were there on the
Mark
filing
told me
cabinets.
he wants to get into pickle making. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he wants me to do it. He's like, we should make pickles. I'm like, we, Kimosabi. You mean me?
What do you mean?
Okay. What do you mean we? What's this we you speak of? You don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, but yeah, he's like, because what he means by we is he wants to grow the cucumbers and wants me to pickle them.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. All right.
Tim used to grow cucumbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when Robert would go over, he'd go grab them and eat them like they were,
Yep.
fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not hard to eat. Not hard to.
He enjoyed them quite a bit.
Now that we have an outside kitty, maybe we wouldn't get so many little vermin eating our garden the way we did. But all right, shall we sign off for the week?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Have a safe and fun 4th of July.
Yes.
And we will see you next week when it will be halfway to my birthday. Bye.
Bye.